Okay, so I have my pattern, trouser pattern, lying around, and I am now, because there is the fitted part from the top, I'm going to try and close that and generally change it more to a kind of skirty fashion. But before I can do that, I'm going to have to transfer that to new paper so I can keep that one. So yeah, let's go. Hello lovely beans, welcome back to the channel and to another video. Yeah, I am embarking on the little adventure of making a pair of trousers, or I'm not actually sure whether these still class as culottes, to be entirely honest with you, but you'll see what I mean by the end of the next installment of this video, since this is largely the conceptualization and the trying out and mocking up part of the project, which, like, I had an idea in my head of using two different patterns, like you just saw in the initial clip. I had a trouser pattern lying around and a skirt pattern, and the idea was to Frankenstein those two to have a trouser that would flare towards the bottom to essentially try and make some secret pants. But it did turn out that I would have to amend that plan in the long run. You'll see why in a little bit. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the ride. It was a ride because I ended up making two different pairs of trousers, essentially, because the wearable mock-up turned out the way I had intended, and the actual project later on did not, somehow. So yeah, there's that. So it was fun. So yeah, I'm going to show you essentially how to make two different pairs of trousers. Yeah. Right, and as some of you may or may not remember, the pattern for the trousers has the side seam slightly shoved to the front. So what I'm going to do, because I want to have more fabric anyway, instead of slimming the back panel down, I'm going to extend the front panel sideways a bit, so we get a similar width on the panels as a starting point. So I'm gonna go do that now. So wish me luck. Yeah, what I did for the extension of the panel was basically really I started drawing or transferring the side of the trousers. Drew just all down the line to the bottom, and then just kind of shoved the original pattern piece over to the far side a little bit, like, I don't know, just measuring on the other side, to sort of get the difference, and then just, yeah, quite a substantial difference apparently. So I just shoved that over there and yeah, used that as a method of extending, widening the front panel to match the back panel more closely. It worked. Yeah. Now again, some of you may or may not remember that the waistline on this pair of trousers comes up very high. So to balance that out a little bit, I'm going to leave out this part up here, like this sort of belty add-on kind of waistband. And to do that, because it is integrated on the back but not on the front, I'm going to take my newly created front and use it as a template for the back button. So yeah, here I'm just tracing the front waistline onto the back pattern, so I can remove those, what's that, about 2.5 inches from the top of the back pattern. Will turn out later that that was probably a bit too much, because, you know, curvature and stuff is a thing, and I did not take that into account when I was removing this part of the pattern. But hey, you live and you learn. Right, now that we've got all the things sorted out, I need to close those dots and probably open something similar up on the front panel. But first of all, I need to take a look at my fabric and see how we're doing space-wise. So let's do that. Okay, so we barely fit on there lengthwise, only just. And also what I had forgotten was that the original pattern was longer than what I would need for my short hobbit ass self. So I went in and chopped off a little bit at the bottom, like a little bit is probably a good 4 inches, to make them fit. I mean, the length is fine. What I did with the original trousers was that I hemmed it quite wide, like the hem was really wide. So I chopped that part off, and now we're fitting just about onto the thing. So we're going to finagle with that a little bit, particularly with the top line and the fitting around the waist, because I don't think I can eke out a lot widthwise. Widthwise, we're also pretty tight. There's not a whole lot in there that we can, you know, do widthwise. So I'm gonna mock up a little bit and meet you right back here. See you soon. Okay, so this is what we have so far. It's a little loose in the top still, so I've got to take out another inch or so. And in the back we have this situation. So what I'm going to have to do is raise the back somewhat, because if you remember, I did take out a little bit of the height in the back from the pattern piece, and that's, you know, I mean, if it's sort of out here, the height is fine. If it comes down to sort of a curve around the gluteus maximus, it's a little too low, so I'm going to take the back off and put in a piece with higher backline there. So I'm going to go do that, and I will meet you back here. Yeah, as I said, took off a little bit too much in the back, and I'm now just adding that back onto the pattern piece. I'm gonna add another, what was that? I think I added on like about an inch, just barely, back onto the pattern to get the height difference from the curve over the, as I so eloquently put it, gluteus maximus, back into the finished product. Yeah, looking at that, it's probably less than an inch what I put back under there, but it kind of worked out in the end, so we're all good. Yeah, like I said, the original plan that I'd had in my head for how this was going to work out didn't work out for purely lack of fabric. I've had this fabric that I'm going to be using in my stash for absolute ages, and I'm talking like about 3 or 4 years, so I'm happy to get around to finally using it for what it was intended for. Okay, so I fiddled around a little bit with this, and what I've done is I've just tacked on a little bit in the back, which can't recommend, but there you go. So yeah, I've added a elastic back here, which is a good idea and probably the way to go. And I am fairly happy with the fit, but I still have some of this lovely fabric, and I will make a proper wearable mock-up. So this is my first opportunity to use these fun, supposedly, hopefully erasable markers, like erasable pens, I believe they are called. Slight problem with these, the mine isn't long enough to come out of the tip. So, plan B. Just the mine. So yeah, just placing my pattern pieces on the fabric and futzing around a bit, because again, I've not got like super much of that fabric left. It's kind of a remnant to the blouse, or the intended blouse for my Foundations Revealed project about 3 years ago now. It didn't get the blouse done in time for the entry of the project, but I still made the blouse and I still have the fabric left. So, because at the time I had zero idea of how much fabric I would need for what project, so I bought way too much. And yeah, I'm glad I can finally get to use some of it. So I'm going to need a fairly accurate distance around for my seam allowance, which is why this thing comes in handy. So I can, So, major incident prevented, because what I did with the trousers, because it was like really bunching on the side, I took out the curvature on this piece, and I almost left that in now, which would have only ended in tears. So let me take that out real quick. And the super scientific method and super accurate method on how I removed that little side bulge, if you will, on the pattern is genuinely just eyeballing it. Like the straight line that can see that little side bulge, which obviously, because it's not fitted and very loose, I won't be needing that kind of like fitted curve around my hip. So there it goes, and that was that, and it worked out fine. I mean, it's not a fitted garment. It's fine. Not very, accurate, but since not fitted, doesn't have to be, which, thank goodness. I'm just gonna go iron this baby. Voila. Isn't that a lot better? Now, I am well aware that you're technically not really supposed to iron this, but I'm paranoid and I just barely pushed out the worst creases, so I think I'm gonna get away with it. Right, where were we? Ah, yes. Shorts. And there follows, you can probably see the difference between how far I put the pattern pieces onto the fabric now versus in the earlier footage. This effectively turned out as more of a half-mast shorts, like sort of knickerbocker length, rather than an actual shorts, like I had intended. But looking at it, I kind of dig it, so I left it. I might maybe somewhere along the line put in like a little option to roll up the trouser legs, but currently, yeah, kind of like the length. Pretty cool. Ah yes, what would any piece of clothing be without a beefy pocket? So I took the opportunity and made a pocket pattern kinda thing. I'm playing very fast and loose with the everything for this pocket, but they turned out really good, so I'm not going to be complaining about that anytime soon. They are huge. They are absolutely massive. I think they turned out larger than the actual pattern for the pockets that I made. But you're not going to hear me complain about that. Like, they can fit my phone, they can fit my keys, I can fit a pair of scissors, I can fit a pair of secateurs. These trousers, these pockets could fit so damn much. So yeah, I dig, absolutely dig. And yeah, it's the assemblage of the trouser pattern. This is a while ago, so I'm not entirely 100% certain why I stitched the inseam before stitching the box pleats. Past me will have had probably not any real reason for that. But hey, I'm not going to question her decisions. And after having sewn a bunch of stuff already, I put on the pockets and made a massive mistake, which I have no idea why I made that mistake. But I didn't just attach the pocket to the side seam, I also attached it to the waist seam. So I had to take that out again, and I'm kind of disappointed because it was a really nice seam. But there you are. Here we go with a seam ripper. Oh dear. Okay. That's the wearable mock-up. And we have pockets, which, you know, always helpful. And I think we're good to go. And that is it for this video. This was, like I said, just the mock-up. If you are keen to see the actual, like, full-on trousers with the pretty fabric, stay tuned, because I have the footage. All I need to do is do the reveal, and then I can edit and upload. So If you like this video, do click the like button below, and feel free to also click the subscribe so you can get notified or something as soon as the next one is up. Other than that, wherever you are, have a lovely day, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye.